So in the grand scheme of things, not all work fragrances are created equal. Everybody's situation and setting and surroundings are completely different. So today I'm bringing you 10 fragrances once again, yet it's a little bit different this time. So I got 5 fragrances that are for a work setting that's more confined, more close quarters, where you can't really wear something really loud, but you still want to smell great. And then I have 5 fragrances for you in a more open setting, whether it be indoors or outdoors, where you can really wear something to draw some attention, some positive attention, to where people are going to tell you smell great. Let's talk about these 10. Stay tuned. So the way this format's going to go is I'm going to give you the safer bet and then my recommendation for the more attention grabbing, louder recommendation. Some are going to be counterparts to one another. Some are going to be just similar vibes. So let's jump into the first one. So the first set is going to be kind of an obvious one in essence because it's the most popular fragrance for men. It's just what it is. Some people love it. Most people love it. And then there's those that hate it because they can't stand Ambroxan. But this was actually my scent of the day at the recording of this. It's DIOR SAUVAGE PARFUM, my big 200 milliliter bottle. And this actually does sit a little bit closer to the skin. It's not quite as loud as the eau de parfum or the eau de toilette. But with having to wear these masks as a regular thing, it's been a while since I wore it. And just like with PRADA Luna Rosa Carbon a while back, you just get anosmic to this one. At least with me anyway. People say how close it sits to the skin. I got to tell you, hours and hours and hours into my shift today, when I would pull one side of the mask off and let it hang on my ear like I always do when I get in my office to do something on my computer, the spray on my chest would just hit me. This stuff, this projects a little more than people really give it credit for. Because with Ambroxan heavy fragrances, I know with me, for example, you can tend to go anosmic pretty quickly to it. But this is, if there's such a thing as a safe version of Sauvage, this is definitely the safest version as far as how heavy it projects and how much attention you're really going to grab. It smells great. To me, the best smelling form of Sauvage. And if you really like Sauvage, but you really can't be loud like the other concentrations, I suggest going with Sauvage Parfum. That way you still get the beauty of what this fragrance can be, especially the Parfum concentration, without just filling a room and giving people headaches and stuff like that. And that's Sauvage Parfum. Now, what I would suggest if you're in a situation where you can wear something much louder and try to ring in some compliments, because I know a lot of people are going to say that they wear fragrances for them, and hey, I wear fragrances for me too, but I want others to tell me I smell good too. You know, that's in essence, why else would you wear a fragrance? You don't want somebody to tell you you smell good? Who doesn't want to hear a good compliment once in a while? And this is a compliment machine. It's the eau de parfum version of DIOR SAUVAGE. Much more well-rounded than the eau de toilette in my opinion. Nothing wrong with the eau de toilette. That's definitely the loudest of the 3. This is a happy median. This is still very loud and very powerful and very long-lasting for sure. Fantastic fragrance. Some people hate it, but a lot of people really, really love this fragrance. And it's definitely what I would suggest if you're in a situation where you can have a loud fragrance, you can draw attention, whether it be an outdoor setting or if you work indoors most of the time and it's okay for you to just fill rooms or have a big sillage and big scent bubble around you. DIOR SAUVAGE, the eau de parfum concentration, will definitely work for you in those situations. And more times than not, people are going to tell you how good you smell. With the next one, if you're looking for more of a versatile, sportier, citrus heavy, citrus and woods type of fragrance that's not going to be too loud, but still get you through your work day for the most part, because you know you're looking for something with really good longevity. But once again, you can't really have something that's just going to scream off your skin too much. Well, if you go kind of easy on the sprays, you can go moderate with it. One I would suggest to really get your fix on a good citrus heavy fragrance would be DIOR Homme Sport, the newest formula from 2017 to now. The blood orange, the lemon in this, just a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It really is. And the beauty of this one, aside from the scent, is the versatility. For it being a sport fragrance, this one can actually dress up quite well. Oxford, like I'm wearing right now, not a problem for DIOR Homme Sport. It's got a little bit of a class to it for being a sport fragrance. The DIOR Homme line, that's just how it rolls with the DIOR Homme line. They're elegant fragrances for the most part, and that does not shy away from the cologne flanker, which is basically ice cold lemonade, or the sport flanker, which is very blood orange and sandalwood heavy. Has a good sharp citrus up top and a very beautiful woody dry down that's not going to be too loud, but you'll still get about 7 to 8 hours off of your skin. Compliment getting, but not really going to grab too much attention for if you don't really want to make a big statement while you're at work. And that's DIOR Homme Sport. Now on the flip side, if you're really looking for some good citrus, but you can be a bit louder, fragrances like Roger Parfum's Elysium would do the trick, but you don't want to necessarily spend that kind of money. I got one even better for you from Samy Andrews Fragrances. It's BLEU Sapphire. This is one of my favorite pickups of this year, and it's a compliment machine. It smells so good. It removes a lot of the, fougere and fresh, spicy, herbaceous qualities of Roger Parfum's Elysium, and you're left with a citrus aromatic version of that fragrance that still performs great from projection standpoint and from a longevity standpoint. I always speak highly of this fragrance because A, I love the way it smells. B, it performs fantastic off of my skin. And C, those around me tell me how good it smells. It hits the trifecta of all the things you would want from a good fragrance, and then just an added bonus, they're $25 for an ounce. They're not super expensive either. This is what I would suggest to get your citrus fix if you can have something a bit on the loud side. So we covered modern with Ambroxan heavy fragrances. We covered citrus heavy. Now, how about classic DNAs that are a bit more modernized? So in essence, a very classic, modern classic really, fragrance is Bleu de Chanel from Chanel. Now, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette and Eau de Parfum tend to project pretty well. People will smell you. It is a strong compliment getter. But let's say you want a more refined, modernized version of the original. You love that DNA, but you want something a bit more refined and maybe not as loud. Of course, we're going to go with Bleu de Chanel Parfum. This is a much more rich, warm, and woody version of Bleu de Chanel without the heavier projection. Plenty of longevity. This is 8 to 10 hours. It's definitely more on the 10-hour side for me on my skin. Oh man, and it's just a more refined version of the original. This is very professional smelling, very elegant, very grown up without smelling mature. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. One of the best releases from 2018. The most expensive one of the three, but it's justified because it's such a good fragrance. The quality is top notch, and this is one of the kings of the blue genre that a lot of people are going to enjoy, just more refined. And that's Bleu de Chanel Parfum. So on the flip side of that, we're not going to stick with Bleu de Chanel, but we're going to stick with the theme of a classic, compliment getting, versatile fragrance. But let's modernize it, let's mature it a little bit, but in this instance, let's get a little bit louder. So one that's very, very popular, Swiss Army knife type stuff that can do it all, just like Bleu de Chanel, would be from Giorgio Armani, and that's Acqua di Gio Profumo. Still, in my opinion, the best, most versatile version in the line. It's a parfum concentration as well. If you like incensey, patchouli, Acqua di Gio's original DNA, you mix all that together and you get this beautiful black bottle that's essentially frosted. The light's not really doing it justice right here, but that is a very dark frosted black glass. Tongue twister. This is still a beautiful fragrance. It's been around for several years now, and it's absolutely still worth every penny that you can find it from discounters. It adds that versatility. It has a similar versatility that the Bleu de Chanel line has, but this is much louder than Bleu de Chanel Parfum, with this being the parfum version of Acqua di Gio, essentially, aside from Essenza. Essenza is just really hard to get and the prices are very hiked up on that one now. So in my opinion, if you're in a work setting where you can have a louder fragrance and you like that, you know, vintage style, that popular DNA just modernized, I still think this is the ultimate way to go with Acqua di Gio Profumo. Next, now you want to mix it up a little bit. You want to go with something that not everybody's wearing, not everybody around you. It's a safe bet. Most likely, the people you work with aren't going to be wearing this. You're going to set yourself apart. So in this instance, we're still sticking with the first one being the closer to the skin fragrance, but this one actually does get pretty good longevity. You do have to like Iris, but it's the freshest version of this DNA. It's from PRADA, L'Homme Low. Projection's not real heavy on this one. It's in that moderate to right below moderate kind of range, but it does get about 7 to 8 hours of longevity. Actually, in my opinion, making this even better for work than the original is, because the original is a bit louder off of my skin anyways than this one is. This is brightened up with some ginger, and the powderiness is just, I mean, you gotta like floral, powdery iris, don't get me wrong, but it's a soapier take on it because that's just what PRADA does. They make incredibly soapy fragrances and high quality, expensive smelling soapy fragrances. This goes beautifully with a white Oxford, something like I'm wearing right now. Fantastic work fragrance, especially in the warmer weather, but it's not gonna project too heavy. 2 or 3 sprays, you're good for your work day. You're gonna smell great. If somebody happens to smell you, they'll have to get within a pretty close range of you, but you're definitely gonna be inoffensive with the scent they're gonna smell. It's gonna stay kind of close to the skin, and most likely, you're gonna set yourself apart and smell unique to everyone else in your workplace. Now on the flip side to that, this is cheaper than PRADA L'Homme Low and doesn't smell like PRADA L'Homme Low. The theme here is to smell different from your coworkers, outside the norm, without being something that, you know, is kind of hard to wear. This is still easy to wear. It's a bit more synthetic for sure, but in my opinion, it's better than getting your hands on Creed Aventus, because Creed Aventus is very expensive. And I really feel like as a standalone fragrance, this is fantastic if you want to pull some compliments and draw some attention. It's from Armaf, Club de Nuit Intense Man. You can get these for like 26, 28 bucks from Kingdom Fragrances. Link down below. It's incredible what you can get these for. And other places, similar prices as well, but compliment magnet. Smokier, darker type of Aventus smell. The opening can be a little heavy, synthetic, chemically harsh. Some don't like it. I get all that, but I actually enjoy the opening quite a bit. I love this fragrance. This is as bang for your buck as it gets, especially if you're looking for a strong performer, very, very strong performer. This is gonna pull a lot of compliments. A lot of people are gonna like the way you smell when you walk by with this one. You don't even really need to walk by. They just need to come within several feet of you, most likely to smell you. Open area, indoor setting where you have an open area as well. This is gonna work. You wanna draw some positive attention in your workplace, you can wear something a bit louder, and you don't wanna smell like every other guy you work with. Club de Nuit Intense Man. It makes a statement. And the last category is gonna be safe, classic style scents. You know, when it comes to a classic styled fragrance that's very acceptable for the workplace, a soapy, fresh, shower gel, citrusy type of fragrance is usually going to work in that instance. And this is one of the most popular ones. Doesn't project real heavy. Versace Pour Homme, also known as Versace Signature. This is a classic for good reason. Great fragrance, a staple, cornerstone in any man's fragrance wardrobe and fragrance collection. It's just a fantastic fragrance to own. Nothing short of amazing. Doesn't project real heavy. You can go just a few sprays. If someone happens to smell you, they're gonna like the way you smell. Super inoffensive. Probably the best selling fragrance from Versace in the last 10 years or so, 12 years, however long it's been out. Maybe longer than that. I think it's like 15 years. Awesome. You can get them for a great price from discounters. Once again, Kingdom Fragrances below always has great prices on Versace Pour Homme. It's kind of a must, and it's going to be very safe. It's not going to project real heavy. You're not going to offend anyone. And now last but not least, let's jump into what I would consider a good counterpart for a classic DNA that's loud. This is an original DNA based off a genre and style, the barbershop style of fragrance, which Versace Pour Homme was not a barbershop style fragrance, but it's a classic soapy shower gel, inoffensive fragrance, whereas this is an inoffensive type of DNA and style with barbershop, but it's much louder and it adds some manly, masculine leather. This is a manly scent. This is a boss at work. This is from Happyland Studio, barbershop. The name is fitting. This stuff's great. Strike Gold Shave Company actually did a collaboration with the fragrance oil from Happyland Studio and made a shave soap and aftershave splash that is incredible. Now this is a heavier scent, perfect for an open area because it's going to last all day and then some, and it's a pretty heavy projector. It's very masculine. It's going to be familiar yet different because it's a barbershop style. It's going to remind you of several classic men's fragrances, but like I said, the leather that's used in here really changes the game and sets it apart because it's such a heavy leather. This is a beautiful fragrance. The orange up top, the style to this fragrance is a beauty in itself. Mr. E.J. Wells, glad to have you back, my friends. For those of you who didn't know, he's back and open for business, feeling good, feeling spunky, and getting creative again. Those of you looking to get fragrances from Happyland Studio, link down below. Go check them out. Sample packs available, and all your favorite fragrances are still available, including Happyland Barbershop. And this stuff is fantastic for the workplace when you can wear one that's pretty loud. Well guys, that was my 10. And until next time, do me a real quick favor and go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. What did you think about the concept of the video? I felt like it was a good video idea, something I really wanted to discuss. Whereas you got 5 for the man that kind of can't really have a loud fragrance, but still wants to smell good. You just love fragrances. I mean, hell, that's why you watch me. You love fragrances. This is a, you know, fragrance enthusiast channel for sure. And then 5 fragrances where you can be as loud as you want to be with your fragrance. Bring on the attention, positive, negative, whatever, it don't matter. You can go as heavy as you want with your sprays and how powerful the fragrance is. It just don't matter. Not everybody has that workplace setting, so I figured we'd do 5 of each. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 10 that were discussed here today and you give them a spray now, I guarantee you'll end up thanking me later because they're fantastic. Have a good one, guys.
This is not a drill.